here's where we're going, and here's how to get there. In class, you're going to have some eyes to trace if you like. You're also going to have some eyes to refer to, some kind of dramatic eyes. Okay, so those will be around, and those are just off screen for me. And I'm going to do some shortcuts here. So here's where we're going. Remember, I'm going to show you some in progress ones that you really show you that until you get farther into it, the drama, as I like to say, doesn't happen yet. You have to build up. It goes through a process. Generally, you're going to use cooler colors, okay, or warmer colors. Okay, here's a cooler color one. And the iris, the color of the iris does not have to match the color of the surrounding area. A lot of times it does. It just kind of seems to unify itself, but that's not a requirement. Here's one with some warmer colors. And all of these are at different stages of completion. And there's another one with some cooler colors. And just as a preview, we're going to get in there with some ink and colored pencil along with watercolor. Here's how you start. You're going to find, or you're going to have a piece of Bristol board, because Bristol board will accept watercolors just fine. And it also is good paper to use for color pencil and ink as well. So if after you lightly trace it, and you can just trace it or you can just draw it, it's fine. I traced this one, and then I taped it down. Since we're using watercolor, I would always tape down your paper. This is the warm-up, but the process is going to be the exact same with your larger one. Exactly the same. It'll fit better under my camera, so that's why I'm working on this warm-up. The ink that you use must be a waterproof ink. So the micron pens is what you want to use. I could use a small Sharpie, but again, the ink right now is not the finished. It's going to get thicker, darker. This just helps you see where you're going to paint. All right, now with the watercolors, you remember, please, with a paper towel, if you get a set that's dirty like this, don't panic. Just throw a little bit of water on there. You can see it loosening up already. And a little paper towel, and it's going to clean up just fine. So if you make sure you look at the colors here and make sure those look pretty good. If it's a little messy here, don't worry about it. I found this one, and it was a mess, but these colors in good shape. Always have paper towel with you. A few minutes ago, I put some drop of water in each of these color pads, and I'm just going to pull some color out and get some green going. I'm going to do this with some cool colors, and I'll get some blue going. It doesn't matter if I'm right on top of this of a similar color. These colors, you want to make them kind of dark. See, they're pretty opaque. That's what you want, because we're going to start by making those drips, making them with clear water first. And there's some violet. Now, to work the larger paintings, there are around the classroom, and I'll show you where, some slightly larger brushes. Okay, for this painting, I'm going to use the kind of the medium-sized brush, since it's on a smaller painting that comes in the set. Okay, so I need to wash that out. And I have off to the side, I have another bucket of clean water, perfectly clean water. And this is going to be off to the side. I'm going to pull from here in a little while. What I like to do, instead of tipping the board toward myself, I do it upside down. Because to me, it's a little less of a mess, and you're going to make a mess. It's just going to happen. But it wipes up easy. You're going to see me go down here. I do need to say also, it doesn't matter if you first work in the eye or first work around. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, because they're separate areas completely. I'll do another little video on how to work the eye when I get there. All right, so clean water. I am going to just go right under the eyelid. And if I were to use a different ink, all that would bleed. I'm just kind of putting a good healthy bit of water just under the bottom eyelid. I'm tipping the board a little bit, not super high, really building that up. There's a little bit of color in my paintbrush in my paint, but that's okay. You see, that helps you see it actually. Now I'm going to force some drips. I'm going to get water and just I'm going to, see I started a drip right there. Now I'm just going to add more water to that and just kind of push it. I can even, sometimes I'll blow on it. So you see it moving. So I'm going to do a handful of those. Going to just get that drip going. They're full of water at the bottom. You see the little shadow. If they bump into each other, if some go longer and shorter than others, that's absolutely fine. I don't need to, this is going to stay wet for a while. It doesn't matter. See, there goes that one. It doesn't matter if as they go down, they kind of bend. See, that one went off the page. No big deal. Sing a song as you work. It makes your work more fun. Okay. And I'm going to come out here outside the corner of the eye and do a few drips as well. Up here, I'm just going to go splotchy, splotchy. And up here, I'm just going to go splotchy, splotchy with a little bit of water. And that's going to come in handy when we do the top side. These drips are going to be in a couple of layers. The first ones are kind of light, the next ones. Okay, now I'm going to start grabbing a little color. Just random colors, doesn't matter. Watch how the color is just going to follow that track of water. I'm going to force it. I'm going to blow on it a little bit. See, those two join together. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue. And remember, watercolor gets, ooh, it's split right there. Ooh, that's cool. Watercolor will get lighter when it dries. So I'm going to grab a little bit of blue and a little bit of violet in my brush. I'm going to try to go right up next to there and kind of force that drip to happen. See, once I keep pushing that water down, the drip down there gets heavier. All right, so let's just put some little bit of color inside that splooch up there, that little scrumble right up there. Another little scrumble right up there. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to connect it later. I'm going to try to get pretty close to the eyelid. Okay, good. Some of them are moving more. I'm going to try to get this one to move a little bit more. Okay. So this is how you do the drips. Just start them off with some water. It's okay if you put, like, there's some green here. I'm going to just put a little bit of blue in there too. Let the colors kind of mix. It's okay also to let some of your, I'm not going to always drip the color up here. I'm also going to just put a little color right there. So the drip might change color halfway down. It's all good. Now you might see in some of these a little, what looks like kind of a splash. Do I have one here? See that little splash? All you have to do that, if you'd like, it's not required, is just put your face right over the top and just do a real fast puff of air right on it. See if I can do this. See, look at that. It kind of made a little explosion going that way. You can totally do a couple of those. See those soft ones right there. Be careful with that. You might spit on somebody or blow on theirs. Probably, I don't really see that happen, but you might want to try to maybe face the other way when you do that. I need to get another drip to go here, I think. Oh, you want a kind of a good layer of them. Some are going to be longer, some are shorter. Ooh, look at that. Those two blended in together. It's totally fine. You can, what the heck? Let's start a drip right here out in the middle of nowhere. Get a little puddle of water, get some violet, make it go. It blends into that one. If water goes on your table, it cleans up really easily. There's no color down in here, so I'm going to get some color down in that water strip. And maybe add a little bit of, just a drop of water to make it smooth itself out. All right, that's all there is here. If you wanted to, watch this. Don't have to. I'm going to get a good amount of water in my brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of paint, maybe make it a little bit thinner, and I'm just going to kind of flick the brush. You can do a couple of those if you like. Okay, don't do it all over the place, just a few. All right, I'm going to let this dry before I talk about this part up here. And there you go. That's how you get these drips started. And we are going to do another layer of these drips later, just as a preview. Well, let me show you right side up. That's totally cool. Right there.